Hey everyone, and welcome to Almost Cancelled. I am Peter, that is Connor, and we're going to talk about Channel Zero, Candle Cove, Episode 5. It's called Guest of Honour, full spoilers for the episode, as always. So, we had a big ending last week. We had a really surprising death, Jessica murdered by the kids, and this episode opened with this fantastically slow shot of just her dead body lying in the paddling pool.
Yeah, just kind of the shot just slowly moves on to it.
Yeah. There was a lot of that this episode, I thought. There was a lot of shots that just kind of took their time getting somewhere. Just,
It was a really great shot. It was like a scene changer, just like a bird's eye view down at the top of the house.
do you know what I
It
like?
just
Do you know what I liked
lingered there for a
about
while.
that? Yeah,
Go on.
it was the establishing shot where it was like a bird's eye view, but do you know what I
Mm.
liked about it? I liked that the pathway for the house looked hook shaped. And
Yeah,
it almost looked like the hook that they'd been using to kill people.
yeah,
It crossed my mind. But yeah, so in terms of big plot stuff, we got quite a bit about this episode. We focus mainly on Mike and what he's up to. And uh, I had speculated, well, I think we both speculated last week that Mrs. Booth was behind all this in some way.
yeah. I believe we called her a witch.
Yeah, that was a bit of speculation. It turns out that it's not quite that. She's not the one who's behind it. She just came to worship it after discovering it in the 80s because she witnessed Eddie's power and then believed so blindly in this power that she sacrificed her own son.
Yep. I mean, it should surprise me, but it doesn't.
Nah, I mean, the show's so dark and macabre that,
Yeah,
yeah, and we've seen her straight up kill people with hooks, so it's not out of the question that she's this dark that she would do something like this. I mean, I maybe assumed last week that she was doing this because of what happened to her son, and that's what made her go this evil. Turns out she was just this evil
yep, pretty much.
in general. So, no, I thought that was a interesting revelation. I feel like they're playing with our expectations a little bit because it's maybe like they assumed at this point we would think she was behind it, so they played with that and then subverted them.
It's done a good job of keeping us in the mindset of like Mike and his mom, because obviously they also think that she's behind it at this
Yeah.
point.
Certainly at the start of that scene, when she's in
Yeah.
the house and she's sitting there with the gun and she's sort of explaining this stuff, and she's saying that Eddie's coming back through Mike, because he's got this like extra tooth growing,
Mm.
to to show that Eddie's coming. It harks back to the flashback where he said the only way to tell the difference was Eddie had this
Yes.
missing tooth.
Yeah.
So, but no, they kept up the creepy stuff going. There was some really fantastic stuff. Probably the well, maybe not the creepiest actually, because the Tooth Child did make an appearance and that was quite good. But the creepiest outside of the Tooth Child for me was the death of the cop that Amy had slept with last week. Because he comes out and finds Mike, and Mike's trying to look for Mrs. Booth, and he finds all these kids, and he goes over, and the kids all start to surround him, and you just see, that. I mean, it turns out to be Mrs. Booth in the costume, but it's the Skull character from the
Yeah.
show, the Candle Cove character.
Do you know which one really worked for me? It was towards the end where Mike follows his daughter upstairs.
Hmm.
And you see him with the hook, but there's the figure on the other side of her. Oh man,
Yeah,
I thought that
yeah.
was fantastically creepy.
Yeah, that was very creepy. Another favourite one as well, actually, same characters before, is when it turns out to be a dream. So it's the dream that ends with Mike being strung up like a puppet. Which, by
Mm.
the way, that in and of itself is pretty cool and a fantastic image.
Yeah.
But it's when he stands up and the skull character is standing behind him. He doesn't realise, and we linger on this shot for a long time of him not knowing she's there. Like
Mm.
I always love that. I love it when there's something in the background, but the characters don't know about it.
Yeah.
In fact,
There's a few times it's happened on this show.
yeah. In fact, even in this episode, there was a. This wasn't one that they didn't know about, but there was even the moment where Amy's leaving the police station, and the character comes on the computer screens, like all the computer, and we just see it behind her. Now she's aware of it because obviously there's screens in front of her as well, but it's just it's that thing where it comes in and she's aware of it, and it seems like Gary, who walks in at that point, also notices it and is aware of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she's kind of like a Candle Cove groupie, and it seems that Eddie is actually what created Candle Cove. Whatever force is creating this, it's inside him. possibly them, possibly him and Mike, and he's the one who was like putting this image in people's minds. Because even when when Mrs. Booth sees his power, when he stops her from having the attack
Seizure,
yeah. I almost thought it was like a diabetic thing.
Yeah, it looked like that. Maybe like
Yeah.
epilepsy, something like along those lines.
Yeah, it was the way the son just kind of like knew what to do. It was like he'd been trained because she has this condition.
Yeah, it's something that she experienced before,
Yeah.
clearly.
And yeah, and she mentioned, you showed me this place, and I'm like, all right. And then she explains it later, and I'm like, all right. So he's like, just this is him showing people Candle Cove. It doesn't exist at all. No one really made this. It's all, and maybe that's why it looks like a kids' TV show, because it's coming from the mind of a kid.
Yeah. My question is obviously, I mentioned a couple of weeks ago about the dreams being weird, how they're not from that person's perspective.
You think it's Eddie's perspective?
Yeah, because obviously they mentioned this time, like someone says, "Oh, it was someone else's dream." I think Mike says it was someone else's dream near the start. And I feel like maybe it's not necessarily his perspective, but he's like planting, like making them see it in the same way that he makes her see things.
She even says that she says he's coming through him. Like, you'll start to feel it. Maybe you already are feeling it. What if these dreams are the first step of this?
Well, yeah, but we've seen it happen to his the mum as well.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
So I feel like he's maybe putting them into making them physically see dreams, which should be
it makes
weird.
sense. I mean, given that Eddie makes people do things, it wouldn't surprise me if he's trying to plant the idea for Mike to kill his daughter, because that's obviously that big ending of that dream is he's going to slash his daughter with the hook.
Yeah, it's pretty dark, this show, isn't it?
You kidding me? It's like, actually, one of my biggest laughs of the entire show came in this episode.
Oh?
It's when Mike's at the police station, because Amy's asked him to come in to help, and he sits down at her desk, and she says it's all hands on deck, and Mike goes, "Can you please stop saying that?" Let's not use pirate metaphors, please.
Yeah. That was good, actually.
Yeah, that proper made me laugh. Because it's funny. I'm so like drawn in, and the direction on this show's been so good and tense and creepy, and then because I'm generally just quietly like focused on what's going on, that line like made me laugh out loud, and it was really noticeable because I hadn't made a peep.
Yeah.
The old show.
It's crazy to think this is a sci-fi show.
It really is. It's above and beyond their usual caliber, which is good.
Yeah. Definitely,
Reach
fantastic.
Up. Yeah. That said, we've not watched The Expanse yet. I hear a lot of good things about The Expanse.
Yeah.
But no. So yeah, we set up all this wonderful stuff. The ending, of course, is that Mike sees his daughter in the TV. She's in the Candle Cove show. She's at the cave that they always talk about getting into. So, which is a fantastic cliffhanger for the final episode, because it makes it as personal as it possibly can be. He has to go and save her.
Yeah.
In whatever inner dilemma he's going to have to face, while he fights off the spirit of his brother or whatever else. Should be good stuff. But
I'm looking forward to it.
I am too. But yeah, we should talk about how she gets taken. The Tooth Child scene.
Oh yeah, finally some Tooth Child.
Some Tooth Child. Who was a lot more child-sized in this scene, I thought.
Yeah, I thought that as well. I don't know if it's just because he's appearing to a child now, and before we've seen him from an adult's perspective, or like our perspective as adults. So I don't know.
I don't know. I wonder if the whole reason why he exists is because of Eddie's missing tooth. Like, he manifested it out of, like, if he's the one drawing people in and he's the one behind all this, maybe the reason why it's manifested as this tooth monster is because of this tooth issue he's always had.
Maybe. I found interesting, there was the box with all the teeth in.
Mm-hmm.
It was like she'd collected a tooth from each child, and that's how she was like controlling them almost, like through the teeth.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Maybe. But I'm just wondering if that's why it started. That's why, that's why he is what he is. I don't know. And maybe that's why it changes size, is because it's not really there. It's just kind of presented to the people who are meant to see it, kind of thing.
Yeah, could be it.
I don't know. I don't know if that links up or matches with the previous appearances. I'd have to go back and look at them to really judge that. But no, the way that, Lily kind of like tilts her head and smiles, and the Tooth Child kind of copies.
Yeah.
Copies
and
her
then
actions.
she just kind of follows it under the bed.
Yeah. Kid's brave. I'll give her that. Like,
Yeah.
she's like, no, this isn't creepy. No, this isn't. No, this is
No,
fun.
there's a child thing made of teeth sat on the end of my bed. Sure, why not?
Yeah. Kids, I don't know. I really don't know. But no, I thought this was a solid episode. Obviously, we didn't get a whole lot of the other characters in this one. It focused really on Mike for the most part.
Yeah. A little bit of Gary.
Well, yeah, a little bit of Gary. You could see if I've got any complaints about the episode, it's that Mike's reaction to Jessica's death seems oddly kind of muted. You know, like, I mean, he seems distraught a little bit when he first hears about it, when he realizes that's happened at the start. But when he goes to the police station and offers advice and all that, it never really feels like he's.
I get that. I think he's more just that's kind of a way of dealing with it. Like, be calculated. Just throw into fixing or solving what's actually going on.
It maybe just adds into the whole idea that he's kind of maybe been a sociopath like the whole time. You know how they were playing with it in the first couple of episodes, where is he dangerous? Is he a sociopath? And it feels like this reaction maybe links back into that. But
yeah,
it is. I noticed it, is what I'm saying. Whereas Gary just seemed like he seemed like he was reacting properly. He was like angry and upset about everything. Which actually is another plot point we should mention, is that all the kids have went missing. Like,
yeah, we see them all just kind of get up and leave.
Yeah, because he goes to the hospital for his son and daughter, and they're both missing.
It's very Pied Piper-esque.
Yeah, isn't it? I imagine they're all at Candle Cove.
That'd be the logical assumption.
Well, I say that as if it's a real. You know what I mean? Like they'll all be wherever the physical manifestation of this Candle Cove is. Wherever they think it is where they'll all be.
Yeah.
But no, wonderfully creepy episode. I think the direction's been really on point the whole show, but there was a really good couple of moments here. Like, something as simple as when Gary goes outside of the house, because they go to Mrs. Booth's house to investigate, and he notices something outside and he goes out to check it, but the camera just stays in the kitchen and just watches from inside through the window.
There was another one. It was early on. It was outside outside of a house. I can't remember exactly where. And it kind of, you hear a noise, and it's like down in the bottom corner, like a drain or a window or something, like a basement. The one they would pop up just slightly above ground. It just kind of focuses in on it, just to the side of the screen, though.
Yeah.
It's really nice.
Yeah, there's quite a few nice moments in this one. Just where the camera work, took its time, didn't rush in.
Yeah.
And it added to the atmosphere as a result, because you were sort of anticipating something happening.
Yeah. Everything, it feels so slow and methodical that when something does happen, you feel the chaos of it.
Yeah. So yeah, there you go. That's episode 5 of Candle Cove. We have the finale next week, and that's us done until season 2, and a completely new story sometime next year. They've already renewed it, so we know it's coming. So look forward to that. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Like and subscribe and all that stuff. It helps us out a lot. Let us know what you thought of this episode in the comments below. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next time.